Hello and welcome back to my channel IQD to USD, the latest developments in the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. Economic shifts and currency trends. Introduction. Global currency markets have been closely monitoring developments in the Iraqi dinar, IQD, and the Vietnamese dong, VND. Both nations have implemented economic and monetary policies aimed at stabilizing their respective currencies, reducing reliance on foreign exchange, and fostering long-term growth. This article provides an in-depth analysis of the recent shifts in Iraq and Vietnam, discussing the impact on their economies, exchange rate movements, and international trade relations. The Iraqi dinar, strengthening the national currency. 1. Iraq's transition. Away from the US dollar. One of the most significant economic shifts in Iraq has been the decision to reduce reliance on the US dollar in financial transactions. For decades, Iraq has conducted its oil trade and international transactions in USD. However, recent reforms by the Central Bank of Iraq, CBY, and government policies have aimed at increasing the use of the Iraqi dinar IQD for domestic and international trade. By requiring payments for oil exports and other transactions in dinars, Iraq seeks to strengthen its currency and assert greater economic sovereignty. This shift aligns with broader regional trends, where countries like China and Russia have also explored alternatives to dollar-based trade. 2. Impact of the shift on the Iraqi economy. The move to conduct oil transactions in IQD has several potential effects. Strengthening the dinar. Increased demand for IQD in financial markets can stabilize and potentially increase its value. Reducing dependency on foreign currencies. By limiting reliance on the USD, Iraq gains more control over its monetary policy and inflation rates. Economic stability. A stronger currency and more predictable exchange rates can encourage foreign investment and boost confidence in Iraq's financial system. However, this transition is not without risks. Some businesses and international investors accustomed to transacting in USD may face initial difficulties adjusting to dinar-based payments. Furthermore, Iraq must ensure its banking sector is prepared to handle the increased volume of IQD-denominated transactions effectively. The Iraqi dinar exchange rate and market trends. As of early 2025, Iraq has seen fluctuations in the dinar's exchange rate against the US dollar. Recent data suggests that the exchange rate has slightly declined, with 100 US dollars trading for approximately 148,500 Iraqi dinars in Baghdad markets. However, in Erbil, the rate was slightly lower at 148,400 Iraqi dinars per 100 US dollars. Such fluctuations highlight the challenges of currency stabilization. The CBI has introduced various monetary policies, including limiting cash withdrawals in foreign currencies and increasing oversight of foreign exchange markets to stabilize the dinar. 4. Government and central bank measures to strengthen the IQD. To combat currency volatility and promote a more stable economic environment, the Central Bank of Iraq has undertaken several initiatives. Crackdown on illegal forex trading. The Iraqi government has intensified monitoring of unlicensed foreign exchange activities to prevent speculation-driven fluctuations. Stricter banking regulations. Iraqi banks are now required to increase transparency in USD transactions, ensuring that dollar allocations are used for legitimate trade and business activities. Financial partnerships. Iraq has engaged with international financial institutions like the IMF, International Monetary Fund, to implement long-term economic reforms that enhance fiscal discipline and reduce reliance on oil revenues. 5. Iraq's broader economic reforms. Beyond currency policies, Iraq is diversifying its economy to reduce overdependence on oil revenues. Recent reforms aim to boost agriculture, manufacturing, and tourism to create more job opportunities, improve financial transparency through tax reforms and anti-corruption measures, strengthen trade partnerships with neighboring Gulf states, Europe, and Asia to encourage investment in infrastructure projects and digital banking services. With these efforts, Iraq is positioning itself as a stronger and more self-sufficient economy, capable of sustaining long-term growth. Vietnamese dong. Economic stability and future prospects. 1. Vietnam's economic resilience and growth. Vietnam has consistently ranked as one of the fastest-growing economies in Southeast Asia. Its strong manufacturing sector, robust export market, and stable currency policies have helped maintain economic resilience despite global uncertainties. The Vietnamese dong, VND, has been relatively stable in recent months, with the State Bank of Vietnam, SBV, adopting prudent monetary policies to control inflation and stabilize exchange rates. Second exchange rate. Trends for the Vietnamese dong. As of 2025, the Vietnamese dong has fluctuated between 23,500 and 24,000 per USD. The SBV continues to manage the currency within a controlled range to prevent excessive depreciation or appreciation. Factors influencing the VND's exchange rate include strong export growth. Vietnam's exports, particularly in electronics, textiles, and agriculture, have helped maintain foreign exchange reserves. Foreign direct investment, FDI. The country remains an attractive destination for multinational corporations, especially as companies look for alternatives to China in global supply chains. Stable inflation rates. Vietnam has kept inflation at a manageable level, around 3 to 4% annually, preventing excessive price instability. 3. Vietnam's shift toward digital and cashless transactions. Vietnam is rapidly transitioning toward a cashless economy, with increased adoption of digital payments, e-commerce, and fintech solutions. The government has promoted mobile banking and QR code transactions to reduce reliance on physical cash, cryptocurrency regulations to balance innovation with financial stability, e-government initiatives to improve tax collection and business transparency. These digital transformations aim to enhance financial inclusion, making banking and payment services more accessible to rural populations. Fourth, Vietnam's trade and economic partnerships. Vietnam has signed multiple free trade agreements, FTAs, including the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, EVFTA, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. These agreements lower trade barriers, increase market access for Vietnamese goods, and boost investment from international companies. Fifth, challenges and risks for the Vietnamese dong. Despite its economic progress, Vietnam faces challenges that could impact the VND's long-term stability. Global supply chain disruptions. Dependence on imported raw materials means that rising global commodity prices could affect production costs. Property market risks. Vietnam's real estate sector has seen rapid growth, but concerns over a potential property bubble could lead to financial instability. Geopolitical tensions. Trade tensions between the U.S. and China could impact Vietnam's export-driven economy, especially in the electronics and textile sectors. To mitigate these risks, the Vietnamese government continues to implement prudent fiscal and monetary policies while encouraging further economic diversification. Comparing the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong conclusion. What's next for IQD and VND? Both Iraq and Vietnam are making significant economic strides, but their paths differ. Iraq is focusing on financial independence and stabilizing the IQD, reducing reliance on the USD while implementing long-term economic diversification strategies. Vietnam is reinforcing its position as a manufacturing hub with a stable currency and strong international trade partnerships. For investors and global markets, both economies present opportunities and risks. Monitoring exchange rate trends, government policies, and international trade agreements will be crucial in determining their future trajectories. As Iraq and Vietnam continue their economic transformations, the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong will remain key currencies to watch in the evolving global financial landscape.